Good morning and welcome to Birmingham. It's day 2 of the 2022 World Games Flying Disc Competition. We are live at John Carroll High School in Birmingham, Alabama, getting set for another ultimate quadruple header as we try and determine who the semifinalists will be. From our game day set in Birmingham with Daryl Stanley and Megan Tormey, I am Evan Lepler, and we say good morning if you are like us in the United States of America. If you're in Australia or Japan, thanks for staying up late for us. The Aussies and the Japanese will get this day started, day 2 of competition, after a memorable opening day yesterday. It started with a bang with Germany taking down Canada, Australia and France going to Universe. What was your biggest takeaway from day 1, Daryl?
Honestly, it's that the new guard is here. I think that if you came to this tournament expecting Canada, expecting Japan to come out, because these are the powers that have been, it's been 5 years. It's been a while for some of these teams. And just seeing who has integrated that next generation so well, I think those are the teams that we saw succeeding.
Yeah, similar to Daryl, I'm very curious to watch today unfold to see what Australia and France will do today. For me, that was a really intriguing game to watch. They both had such great performances. They adjusted really well in game. I mean, obviously, you look back over yesterday and you think about the dominant performances from Germany, Colombia, and the United States. But today, I'm just really excited to see how Australia and France battle different opponents and whether or not their versatility as players and as a team continue to withstand pool play pressure.
There's so much exciting ultimate ahead, and obviously the pandemic has changed the ultimate world. This was Australia and France yesterday. France breaking 3 straight times out of half to take the lead, but the Aussies responding, breaking to go up 11-10, and then they held serve the rest of the way. France on the deep shot, tying it 12-all, and then Kenton Roger getting a piece of that shot to Georgia Egan-Griffiths, but handling the deflection, throwing the game-winning score, and Australia survived, but I think everyone came away super impressed from the French.
Absolutely. I mean, their organization, their ability to adapt their defense to get those 3 breaks back right at the start of the second half was incredible. I mean, you tell me that was their first time here, I wouldn't have known that. It was quite impressive.
So Australia begins today against Japan. The Japanese were overmatched against Colombia yesterday. But before we talk about the Japanese, let's tell you about a little more about Australia. And mental preparation has been such a big part for the Aussies. Tom Chulet joined us after their game yesterday and talked about this incredible plan that head coach Anna Ragacki put into place. Listen.
It was a great game. I guess we don't come into any game expecting anything. We try and just come in with a clean slate and try and just focus on ourselves and just play the best Frisbee that we can do. So, yeah, we didn't come in expecting to win. It was probably a closer game than what we'd like to close games out, especially after getting up a couple of breaks in the first half there, but we're great. We're really happy that the team sort of maintained their positive mindset and just won that game. So Anna has a mental fitness program that we started 12 months ago. It's a range of things from imagery, meditation, goal setting, value setting, legacy setting on the individual level, but then also some discomfort challenges like cold water immersion, and all of that. So we've been really focused on it, and we've started to incorporate some of that into our warm-up routine with some attention training, and also each evening we'll do a meditation and imagery session together. It's just a good way for us to sort of connect and make sure that we're ready. It's really, really good.
There have been years of intentionality and build-up toward this event, and there's Tom Chulet getting ready for day 2 as they get the schedule started here in Birmingham, which, by the way, it's definitely hot early in the morning. We're starting to sweat a little bit as we sit here at our game day spot. There are thunderstorms in the forecast, which in one way feels like it could cool things down a little bit, but it also could slow down the competition. Let's now talk about Australia's opponent today in Japan. The Japanese, we talk about not being the same as 5 years ago. 5 years ago, they were a very different Japanese team because so many of their top players were suspended in the scandal involving the Buzz Bullets that really no one knows the details of this many years later. But historically, Japan has been different and special, and we saw glimpses of that yesterday, but they just couldn't match up with the Colombian size.
Yeah, I think you saw early on they did a good job of trying to swarm the disc and to make themselves seem bigger and make themselves seem like they're more numerous. I found them from the sideline. I couldn't tell how many there were. It was incredible, the pressure they were bringing around the disc. But that didn't sustain, and I'm wondering if it has to do with maybe some of the age, of their players. I hate to say that because we're speaking about legends here.
Yeah, that's true, but I also think that one of the things that made a big difference in yesterday's game is just the years of development that have gone into the players on the Colombian squad. You have so many individuals who are capable of moving the disc around really tough defenses, and that's not always been the case. And here we're seeing examples of how Colombia adjusted their defense to Japan's offense. They had been doing a good job of stretching the field, but then Colombia adjusted to make sure that they were bracketing the back, that there was always someone hovering in the deep space. As soon as the play went up, they were making plays on it. So in the first half, when we saw some deep shots going up, we didn't see that as frequently in the second half.
Japan articulated coming into this event that they wanted to play some more big ultimate, but if that's what they meant by big ultimate, Colombia is not the right opponent to do that against.
No, especially the male matching players of Colombia really showed that they can catch up to those Frisbees, and you're not going to be able to lay it out there like that. I'm excited, though. I did see some really good flat hucks from the Japanese that are definitely like a different look, and they were clean. So they definitely have the understanding of how to do that. We've got to pick those right matchups now.
And Megan, we still are expecting to see some Matsuno magic here from Team Japan. He's 38 years old. He'll be 39 in September, but wearing number 10, his traditional sunglasses over there. He still had some vintage moments yesterday.
There was moments where he appeared absolutely ageless. He had a sliding catch on the far sideline, and his textbook beautiful throws we saw on display. As Daryl said, they just got to pick their matchups better, and those might connect and leading to fast scores, which is Japan is definitely going to need it in this game against Australia.
Let's quickly run through the schedule for our entire day of competition before we get to the picks. Of course, we got 4 games, 2 in the morning session. Great Britain and Canada, 2 teams that both lost yesterday. They're both 0-1, trying to stay alive in pursuit of the semifinals. That's game 2 of the day. And then game 3, perhaps the most anticipated one between 2 1-0 teams, USA and Germany. Megan, I know you're excited to see if the Germans can handle the Americans.
Absolutely. The thing that we saw from the U.S. yesterday is that they are prepared to make adjustments. And with the coaching staff they have on hand, that is no surprise whatsoever. So watching them kind of game plan against Germany is going to be a stunner.
Colombia and France will be the final game of the day at 6 p.m. Central Time, perhaps tomorrow morning for our Japanese and Australian audience. If you're staying up late to watch this one, get some rest, and then join us for Colombia and France tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. in Japan. All right, let's get to picks. Australia and Japan, the Aussies are 1-0. The Japanese are 0-1. Daryl, who you got this morning?
I have to go with Australia. That verticality is going to be a lot for Japan.
Yeah, Australia exhibited great preparation yesterday, and I think it's going to notch them a win today.
I think we've got some Matsuno magic in store, but it's not going to be enough. Australia, I think, is going to win, but a closer game than perhaps you might expect. So we're looking forward to getting this day underway. Hannah Pendlebury and Liam Grant have the call as we begin day 2 of the World Games in Alabama. After the break, we send it to Hannah and Liam for the action.
Every 4 years, there is a new opportunity. A chance for the world's best players to take center stage. A chance for glory, for teamwork, for upsets, for gold. 8 countries are sending their 14 finest to Birmingham, Alabama for the opportunity to reach the pinnacle of ultimate. The 2022 World Games start right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for Flying Disc Action live from Alabama, the World Games 2022. My name is Hannah Pendlebury, inside the booth with the lovely Liam Grant, lifting the lid on the action of day 2. We are in the pool stages and Pool B action in front of us. Australia versus Japan, a likely crucial decider here as to which team will advance to the semi-final championship bracket and which team will be playing for consolidation. Weather slightly cooler today, 82 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 if you're Celsius, but that oppressive humidity staying strong at 70%. Different games, different days yesterday between these two opposition teams, Liam. What are we expecting from this matchup?
Looking forward to this oceanic showdown, Hannah. These two teams know each other very, very well. We'll play each other quite a lot in the Asian Ultimate Guts Championships. If you look back in 2019, both these teams played against each other in the Opens and Women's Division. Similar kind of conditions in Shanghai back in 2019, probably hotter and even more humid. Hard to believe, I was there myself. So I don't want anyone complaining about Alabama. Shanghai was a lot hotter. But yeah, both these teams I think will be ready for that heat. It's their first game of the day, so maybe not too bad. But yeah, they definitely know each other's styles, very contrasting styles, these two teams.
So taking a look at some Australian players for us, lots of representation from the club side of Ellipsis with a few friends coming into the mixer. Who are you expecting to see big things from today, Liam?
Well, we obviously have the Phillips sisters who actually won the World Championships back in 2010 in the under-23s. I think it was Anne Rogacki was the coach back then, so they've won World Championships under their belt already. I think if you look at the likes of Rob Andrews, had an incredible game yesterday, was eating up the stats sheet. Well, yeah, I think it's going to be how Australia deal with the switchy defense of Japan. That's something they're so good at, and that's one thing that I think they did well in the game yesterday, but it was maybe the only thing they did well. They did a great transition defense and switching and helping out, but we're very much struggling in offense. But one game under their belt, you're hoping now they can start to find their rhythm.
And lots of legends along that Japanese roster. Keys for this game, as you say, Liam, we're going to see a big height mismatches on the field. The Aussies' stature above the Japanese, but not an insurmountable feat. The Japanese have excellent disc skills traditionally, and if they can find those pockets where they can just run down those long shots, it could be a very different match to what we saw from them yesterday.
Yeah, we saw them a number of times, Japan yesterday, throw floaty hooks to Arakawa and they were eaten up. So if you're throwing deep, this Japanese team, it has to be a lot of space and has to be very accurate. Traditionally, we've seen them put a lot of edge on the disc to try and counteract this floating in the air. It didn't really happen yesterday. I think they need to do that because this team, more than any, the Aussies, are tall in the air. They'll own the skies if you float it up there.
And we see Mish Phillips there getting us underway with the opening pool. Japan starting on offense. Can they put their flag in this game and get themselves into that top standings for the business end of this competition? And immediately we see a sort of zony type look from Australia. Nice movement around the back. And there goes the first long shot of the day, but it's going to be picked out of the sky. The grab from Rob Andrews. D-line opportunity, just a nice simple stack quite close to that far side. And a pick is going to bring us a brief pause, just in the hands of Alex Ladamatos.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to actually throw over Rob Andrews. He seems to own everything in his vertical space, and that's exactly what Japan don't want to do. Have to be very accurate with those hooks. You saw the Aussies come out in a zone just for 2 or 3 passes, trying to shut down that pull play, but then transition very quickly.
Lovely around break. Can't find the continuation. There was room for it. Chooses it a little bit late. Karama. Aussies happy to be nice and patient and quiet. Surveying the options upfield. It's going to be a high release. It's going to sail way over the head. No, it was for Mish Phillips. Nearly throws the inside. Oh, and a lovely big arcing backhand, and that is a first break to start us off. The score for Rob Andrews, double happiness for him, and Australia take the first point.
Rob Andrews picking up where he left off yesterday. Had 4 goals, 2 assists and 1 block in the game yesterday. We're in 1 point in, he already has a goal and a block to his name. Definitely likes to get involved, this man. And Japan doing what they don't need to do is just those underthrowing those hooks. And then Australia just looking for Mish, was in a lot of space, just floated one up to her. I think there was some poaching going on, so just put one out into space to her. Especially if it's floating high, they're going to come down with a lot of those discs.
Absolutely. The player who's known affectionately on the club scene as Snail, the lovely Mish Phillips, is a bit of a gun for hire. She's appeared on lots of different clubs' rosters, representing many different nations, but I'm sure she'll be pleased to be in the green and, say that's gold or yellow, Liam?
I don't know, gold. I think it's gold.
I believe it's gold. It definitely feels gold. But will it be a gold medal for Australia later on in the stages of this competition? All yet to be played for. The field's been blown wide open thus far. Some really fantastic games here on the fields in Alabama.
You see Kaede Yoshida on the screen there. Really need to see her step up. She played fantastically yesterday, but probably has to do more on offense to try and get this Japanese team moving.
And so we're going to have Andrews with the pull, the D-line for Australia coming out again. And that is a beautiful effort, just sinking and hanging in that far corner. So in Callahan County, our team Japan, but working it smoothly. Lovely spacing from Kashino. Moving it round the back. Asada now. Nice low release. I love the Japanese pivots when they put those low forehands through. Flowing nicely down the centre of the field, and that is the goal. Hona finds the number 39 shirt of Inamura, and a good, clean Japanese hold there. Nice and smooth and easy does it.
Much better play from the Japanese. You can see when they have those lateral cuts, they can get free. They have a lot of space in those lateral movements and generate speed very quickly. But actually, like there, we saw number 64, Yuko Kashino, kind of come back into the handler position and initiate play for the Japanese. I think that's where they're really struggling, and she's a fantastic player for that. Formerly, Yuko Suzuki, you might remember from the 2016 World Ultimate Guts Championships, has been a standout player on the women's side. Just having her initiate the play, get things flowing for the Japanese, I think is important.
Absolutely. And there are legends aplenty on this Japanese side. It's been really lovely to see all of the athletes here out in the field, with just seeing how much they've come through the junior programs, the under-20s and under-24 options. I still remember watching the Japanese women against the US women back in 2015 at the under-23 World Championships. That was quite a corker of a game, Liam.
I remember that as well. One of the multiple times that Japan have beaten the US. Definitely one of those countries that have been able to do it. Australia, which have been maybe more successful in other ways, have never really been able to take a scalp off the Americans.
But could this be their year? Still all yet to play for. As I say, still round 2 of 3 as the pool will land out of bounds. Signal there, I think that's the Egan Griffiths. Oh, my eyes deceive me. That's Prentice bringing us to the brick mark. Nice, easy movement, cascading down the far sideline from Australia. Options available in the end zone. Takes the cheeky inside shot. Andrews to Chula. Soft, poachy style defence, but Chula finds the goal in the far side on the sideline. Interesting look from the handler matchups there, Liam.
Yeah, we saw the Japanese players are sagging in the lane and often just hanging out in the lane. And the Australians doing what the Colombians did very well yesterday and just blading around them. You know, if it was quite windy, you'd probably get away with that, just sitting in the lane. But you can see there a very blady around throw. But with this wind and these conditions, that's very easy to execute at this level. And they're just taking advantage of it every time. And maybe Japan need to make an adjustment on that.
Yeah, not much in the way of wind out here on the fields this morning in Alabama. Just that oppressive humidity. Do you think that's been impacting any of the hands? We've certainly seen a lot of strong towel game thus far at this event.
I remember back in 2019 at the Asian Oceanic Ultimate Guts Championships, Australia were covered in chalk the whole time. I think actually might have been Rob Andrews who was king of the chalk. He had a little basket of chalk the whole time. I haven't seen them bring it out here yet, but hard to believe it was more humid and higher temperatures back in Shanghai.
Well, irrespective, I'm sure both sides will be very pleased to be in this morning slot. So we might see some thunder and lightning, very, very frightening later on as we get the pull underway from Karama. This one looking like it's going to land just in bounds. And the Japanese look to punch in their second goal after taking that first early break. Hona around to Asada. Inamura. Good swinging patience. Not really too much excitement upfield. Happy to work it round. Inamura now finds a little bit of separation up the line. High reaching grab. Oh, and just getting a hand in the mix. I think they might get a strip call out of Asada there, but that was a very tasty bit of defence. Just got to have a go, haven't you?
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw. There wasn't much separation there at all. This one's going to be discussed now.
Hey, Linda, can you remind Team Japan to give a hand when they're on offense?
Running and throw here. So your hand had to go this way to get it. I'm running. We both came here. Catch. Okay. Yeah, I think touching, yes. Okay. But I think Frisbee here. So you have to go this way. And hand. Yes, but sorry. Frisbee here. Then you have to go from here to there. And I'm here.
So you think that he initiated it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I think the throw made it such that we both...
Sure.
Hand and disc.
Yeah.
Hand and disc.
The question is, who initiated the contact?
Initiated.
Yeah. Who caused it?
I think hand doesn't matter because two hands for same frizz.
Now, in terms of the rules, it would only be if you got the block and then hit his hand that it wouldn't matter potentially around that.
Yep.
But it initiated contact, but I'm not sure that we're going to get a resolution here. Who caused it? Yeah. Yeah. I think we've...
Sounds too long.
Sounds like we're getting to the point where we're not going to get a resolution.
But it doesn't look like they're going to put a replay.
So
I think it will
it's
have
contested?
to be contested.
Yep. Thank you. So, what was the score count? Count? How many? No count. Coming in on one.
Contested stall there. Disc back with Kaede Ashida.
And Japan very close to the goal line. Lots of players around the disc. Tight spaces and windows, but now expanding across the field. No cutters really attacking the break side. Nimura centering. Fakes that big inside, has another cut available. Inspirational stuff. Asada with the goal. And that's a good hold for Team Japan.
Asada gets it eventually. Happy to thin the needle there. The Japanese team, not much space for them to work in, but throw it in there. And Aussie's getting stuck in, not afraid to put a hand in the cookie jar. You saw them discussing that potential D play there earlier. There was new rules brought in 2021 that if you make a defensive play, hit the disc, and then follow through and get minimal contact on the hand or arm, it's not a foul. But I think what's being discussed there with head game advisor Ruben Berg is whether contact happened before or after the defensive play was made. I'm happy to stay within the time limits, keep the game going. It was a pleasant discussion anyway.
I did enjoy the word frizz sneaking into the discussion, but lovely to see the communication between these two teams out here on the field. Language barriers do exist, but a good, simple discussion. So can Japan snag a break back? Imanishi with the pull. So you see the lovely drone footage. That one sails just to the near side. And Chula with a nice low release far side. Good communication upfield from the Australian offender. So a big ripper of a backhand is going to sail too far for the intended target. Rob Andrews just wiping the sweat from his face, but a good cluster of defenders around him.
Yeah, that was a bad overthrow from Tulit. I feel like Andrews is a man. If you put it up into the sky and make it catchable, he will catch it. And you can see the Japanese players looking to switch, but Australia did well to space out and make it very difficult to double up on defense.
So the much-needed opportunity to get us back on serve for Team Japan. Matsuno, lefty hand, so experienced and seasoned. Oh, and an overthrow for Team Japan. Can he reclaim it? No! Bit of contact there, but all's fair. Yamanishi doesn't make a call. Tulip picking back up for Australia. Andrews has the option around, chooses the centre. Oh, hot pressure from Japan's defence. But looking nice and composed in goal. Oh, nearly a sneaky block there. And a hammer over the top, expands it, but it's going to be another bridge too far for Team Australia.
Yeah, another overthrow to an open receiver, and it's just finding the range here, Australia.
Well, it's all about in these small game formats just to play to 13. Can you come out strong at the beginning? It's really so crucial in the early stages of this match. Matsuno getting us underway. Another big shot. However, this has excellent separation, beautiful placement. Oh, but what a just focus error there. Devastating.
I think that throw was too good is what happened there, Hannah.
Had too much time to think about it. Not always your friend. But the Aussies will be glad to have the disc back. Very soft defensive look from Japan. Starting to become a bit of a long point now. Tulip has a great separation available for Prentice, takes it. Kat Phillips looking to get involved now. But a big bump on the mark.
That is Hannah Noguchi there. Looks like an uncontested foul.
Nice expansive play. She's going to have to reel it in and does just about. Great footwork from Egan Griffiths.
I thought it was very close to the line, Hannah. Surprised that nobody's called it out, but everyone seems to be sure about it.
We did have a fairly good view on that overhead cam, but players making the calls on the field. Of course, this wonderful refereed sport. Tulip once again, centre of the field with the disc in his hands. Looking off quite a few open unders, but chooses the around. Oh, and there comes the spicy biscuit. A huge hammer to Kat Phillips. And finally, Team Australia connect.
Yeah, resorting to the big ball there from the Australians. You can see they're trying to play a bit of small ball. We're struggling and said, now let's just go back to some good old big hammers. See several throwaways here from Australia. Overthrowing the receivers yet again. They're just too strong. And this just, as you said, too much time to look at it. Was probably thinking about the next pass and somehow ended up behind him.
Yeah, difficult one when it goes straight over your head, but what a sensational grab. Oh, we might have touched a tiny bit of blade of the grass covered in white paint on that far side for Griffiths. But this massive hammer from Tulip, I have to say, I'm a big fan of an overhead.
If you throw it in bounds, it's very likely these Australians will come down with it, but that's going to be the challenge for them, is making sure the throws are accurate and in-field and catchable.
So the player known affectionately as Cupcake in his home nation, Tom Tulip. We know a little bit more about this chap. He's been so pivotal for Team Australia so far. It seems he just marshals the offence.
Yeah, Tulip playing since the age of 14. Started playing with a team barefoot out of New South Wales. One of the most experienced players, like the Phillips sisters and Kat, playing since she was an early teenager as well. Great experience coming into this. Some nice sign making from the Crocs fans.
Absolutely. It's been a little bit quiet in the stands in Birmingham, but I'm sure as we reach the latter stages of this event, we will get crowds aplenty as people, in the know, knowing that flying disc is an excellent discipline to watch. And if you are watching this for the first time, please welcome. It's great to have you with us here, enjoying this wonderful display of elite athleticism and skill. Of course, Ultimate having been, well, Ultimate Frisbee to the club scene for those of us who play on a more regular basis, but Flying Disc incorporated in the World Games programme back in 2001.
See Kyle O there on the screen, sporting a nice Western Australia haircut. Actually the first man to play for the Crocs from Western Australia.
Making history here on these fields.
Actually played with the last World Ultimate Club Championships with Pelt.
Oh, alongside your good self, Liam.
I was there doing commentary, if you remember, yeah, but a good Irish-Aussie connection.
It's one of the lovely aspects about flying disc sports is that international love. Lots of these players, as we say, coming together, facing off in their home nation representation, but often playing alongside each other at the club scene. So, still just trading out after that early break. Team Japan needing to punch this one in as a lovely upline cut from Hona. He's going to give power position. He's going to take the opportunity. That's going to arc and blade across. Can he make a play on it? No! Andrews can't, and it is a goal for Muraoka.
Savage stuff there from the Japanese. He tried a few times to shake off his mark, but eventually goes deep and gets it. Got up early, Muraoka. See, when the Japanese players get some confidence up, they like to work the camera. Not shy from an old celebration.
And so the hold for Team Japan. Lovely scenes out here. Really enjoyed that upline cut you'll see coming from Hona. Had the initial momentum. His teammate does the stutter cut underneath and then just steals away. Andrews cannot make a play over the top.
Yeah, he's a hard man to shake as well, but that was a good little step there to create some yards. You'd like to see that Hona going up the line because it definitely has the pace to get free up line. I think he was trying to throw his way out of trouble yesterday, but use their speed and tenacity to create some flow. Andrew's doing well there not to initiate any contact.
As you hear the stadium announcer there, the ball landing out of bounds, Tulip to collect. Some excellent sock game.
I think the most impressive side so far in the tournament has been Colombia. You look at their pulls, we're on point all game long. I'm not sure if they even bricked one. Landing in the back of the end zone, and it's a really important part of the game that's often overlooked, but you're losing a lot of yards there, giving up a pull like that.
They certainly are. Nearly 20 yards, 18 metres in total. Those X's in the field.
It is not buried treasure, which someone once asked me.
No, but if you use it well, it's a treasure. It's a gift, really, from the other side as you start your offence. McGuckin finds Phillips. She has a think about the flick and puts a huge backhand throwing to the ground. I thought maybe a little bit of Alex Gann might have been on the line, but called a goal on the field. And a bit of redemption for the big backhand from Phillips.
Yeah, it was a good throw, kind of Japanese-esque, that one, that quick backhand hook with a lot of blade. Put it where only Gann could get it. Had to get down and dirty for that one.
And blowing a kiss for the fans at home. So Kat Phillips, the Aussie Rules football superstar, gracing us with her presence at Flying Disc. It's lovely to see such a talented and capable athlete playing two disciplines at a high level.
Yeah, definitely one of the standout players in Flying Disc. I think this is her third World Games. Came second back in 2013 in Cali. No, what was that? She came second before anyway.
Certainly, silver medalist, former silver medalist. Well, I say former, she still has it. I'm sure it's in her treasure cabinet back home. And her sister Mish. Lovely to have family connections. I've been really enjoying... So a lot of the athletes out here on the field do, of course, have social media presences. And Mish, a mother of two, returning to the field and using her children as apparatus to strengthen herself, which is a key thing when you are a sporting mum. Tiny humans very much enjoy being lifted and lowered, a la isometric exercise. So a zone look from the Australians to try and cause a bit of confusion, and some overheads of Japan's own to slice it open. Good momentum through. The Aussies now melting to person defence, and a foul call will give us a brief pause.
Taku Hona, the nomadic try player.
Very deep stack from Japan, but finds a good reaching high one. Oh, a snag and a half from Kashino, keeping that one alive. Muraka trying hard to get free. Dishing across. Australians layering on the pressure. Good coverage after that fall. Pulls the blow. Nice faking. Keeping the defence on their toes. Oh, and that's going to be in for a goal with some fancy footwork. Yes, it is. The number 1, Keita Yoshida, with the goal.
Yeah, milking that one into the end zone like a dairy cow. Take a little look around, make sure there's no one in the space, and just carried it into the end zone.
We love to see it, and these two teams continue to trade. First break of the game, having gone to Australia, and we're seeing things. Both these teams seem to be finding their comfort zone right now. The Aussies are putting on all of the pressure. We saw the attempt at the layout bid on that particular channel of offence, and good work from Australians to reconsolidate their defence after that moment. So there wasn't the blown coverage and the easy score, but Yoshida there with the excellent play, composure.
If they're going to have Keita Yoshida on the O-line, they need to use her more, and especially in those situations. If you're outside the end zone and you can't get a goal, let Keita do her thing. She'll beat anyone to that kind of space. Ladamala's trying to get the layout D on Arakawa. He's a hard man to shut down. So it's difficult in those positions, because if you do lay out and you don't get it, you often give the offense the advantage of having no mark and maybe trying to get a little give-go going, which he quickly moved the disc.
Absolutely. So, person coverage, zone coverage, I say, from Japan. Seeing all the zones today as these two teams try and cause those confusions, but easy stuff. Thinks about it, it's rather a low release on the backhand, but powers it into the end zone for an easy goal. Not sure we'll see that zone look again, because the Aussies just absolutely demolished it.
Yeah, the Aussies demolishing it with their big ball again, spreading out the field. Very happy to send lots of people deep and create space in the middle of the field. And you saw the shot to the end zone. Looked like she gave the deep defender the eyes. There was two people sent them the wrong way. You know, Japan have been very successful with their zones. If there was a little more wind, you think it would be very favourable for them. But these Aussies like to throw big, are very good at it, that you feel like it's not going to work for them. But Australia throughout the game doing well to space each other out, not letting the Japanese work together in defence, trying to isolate players.
Yeah, great stuff from Liv Carr, going down to the knees to make sure that pass is secured.
Liv Carr, the first player from Tasmania to represent the Crocs.
So we've got lots of first-time regional representation.
Yeah,
We'd love to see it.
Regional representation, lots of doctors as well. I think this is just something that's in our sport all of a sudden. I don't know how they get the time to work as a doctor and play flying disc.
I think possibly it's got something key to do with those players that start playing ultimate or flying disc disciplines at the university level, because medics have to spend many years studying, as you'd expect. So, Japan looking to respond. Big bump on the mark. It's going to be an uncontested, just a bit of a cleat in foot scenario. Hopefully the Asada will be okay. Team Japan looking very close to each other, sort of maybe expecting a zone look, but this seems to be more pure person. No, I see it is a zone. What am I on about? My eyes did deceive me. Nice high-reaching opportunity for Australia to make a play, and they do. Andrews with the block.
Two very different approaches to zone there. You saw the Japanese bring everyone very tight in a close, small space, trying to small ball the way out of it, while Australia playing zone offense do the exact opposite, is spread out the whole entire field. Proving unsuccessful there for Japan. They can't throw over these big guys. It's not going to work out too well.
Nice moving round the back for the players in gold and green. Fakes the hammer over the top, doesn't take it. Karamar going to receive the disc back, so pick call on Tulit's cut.
Just going back to Karamar.
So Mark chooses the around. Lalamatos. Aussie's looking to isolate in the near field. Going to be a pressure release valve opened up to Andrews. Egan Griffiths. High blading backhand over the top of the mark. Oh, and a bit of confusion. I think that was intended for Karamar, but she just looks behind her.
Another courageous end zone standoff from the Japanese. And that's something they've done really well in this tournament. Most teams forced to kind of throw over them, but did well to stop the Aussies.
And so strict person defense this time for sure. Aussies trying to put their pedal to the metal. Huge inside flick, going to fall across the field, but who's under it? Oh, what a grab over the top of the defender, and the goal for Yoshida backing it up. But Muraoka, miraculous stuff.
Akafumi Muraoka with a fantastic deep grab, and Kaede Yoshida following up the play more than anyone else. I think everyone else just watched to see what was happening, and she knows if you chase that one down, you can get yourself an easy goal. That was fantastic play from Japan. Held strong outside their own end zone, and then when Australia transitioned to a person defense, they seemed to play a lot better and were more comfortable in that setup. We've just lost visual, Charlie. It's just frozen.
But you have to be delighted with that if you are Team Japan.
Please welcome your 2022 World Games Hype Squad, presented by Unity. They've got some souvenir discs for you. Get hyped up. Thank you.
We are back here in Birmingham. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but it is halftime between Australia and Japan. 7-6 for the Aussies. The one break on the opening point of the game is the difference. It has been 12 straight holds since then. Evan with Daryl and Megan. Daryl, your thoughts on the first half? A couple break chances for Australia in those final few points, but they couldn't capitalize, and this is a tight game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Australians are finding a match downfield, it turns out. Akifumi Maruoka was the one who said he wanted to open up the Japanese game deep. I think we see what he meant.
Yeah, Maruoka has done a really great job stretching the field. Of course, we saw Andrews get 2 Ds on deep throws, but they have adjusted and looked for far more open shots. Yoshida also doing a really great job of stretching the field, making things possible for Japan. Love the adjustments I'm seeing between yesterday and today. All the difference in the world.
It has been a pretty well-played game. Only 4 turnovers for Australia, just 5 for Japan. And as we said, just the one break. What's the key for Japan here? Do they need to play a little more conservative, or do you like going big to Aki Muraoka?
I mean, I've coached against him in the ADL. He can keep it going, Evan. So, like, feed the man. And then I think Matsuno is going to be critical, because if Aki is playing that well, Matsuno can really carry that D-line and help get those breaks.
Only, in fact, no break chances so far for the Japanese D-line. So they have not dispossessed the Aussie offense. Obviously, that's going to have to change if they're going to upset the Crocs.
Yeah, they're throwing different defensive looks at them. I saw them throw a zone that Australia seemed to handle really well, but they are going to have to mix things up a little bit in order to try and, get the opportunity to take the disc away. Love to see them pressure a little bit more back. I think that Australia is having an easy time throwing down the field to nice wide open shots. I think flatten out their marks, they could kind of pressure them to the sidelines.
Oh my, you nailed that. That's exactly what I wanted to say. It's the marking. It's like their downfield defense is really strongly playing to one side of the field, and I think you can see that in some of these clips here. They're really overplaying that open side or that forced side, but the marks aren't close enough, and the Australians, when they need to, are able to break them around.
How do you feel about Australia's aggressiveness offensively? I mean, they haven't turned it over yet on their O-line.
I mean, it's not nearly as aggressive as I saw yesterday.
Okay.
I think that they could probably play up more of their, Rob Andrews playing the way he's playing, and they tried to send Tula deep a couple times, but I'm really impressed with their patience.
And, I should take that back. Japan had 2 break opportunities at 2-all to get back on serve, and they weren't able to get them. Chulet ultimately hitting Cat Phillips. So Australia's O-line was not perfect, but pretty darn close to it. They were not broken in that first half, and this is just the first of 4 games that we've got for you today. GB Canada is game number 2, USA Germany to start the night session, and then Colombia France to get us wrapped up. As we look ahead to the rest of the day, Megan, what is foremost on your mind?
I have to say USA versus Germany. It was so great to see USA yesterday. It was so great to see what Germany has put together. It'll be really intriguing to see if that's going to be just the battle that we presume it will be.
All right, Liam and Hannah are standing by for the call of the second half. Australia leading Japan 7-6.
Second half action here in Birmingham, Alabama. World Flying Disc Sport for the World Games 2022. Hannah Pendlebury in the booth, back after some technical difficulties with Liam Grant. Japan on the attack. They are 1 break down. It's been trading all for the first half, but the second section of this game about to get underway, and the Australians on offense. Prentice in the centre of the field finds McGuckin. Oh, and Phillips is not going to be able to toe that one in, out of bounds. Are we going to see a mirror image of the first half as Matsuno strides up to get the attack on the way? Oh, a nice easy lefty release, but who's going to take it out? It is Rob Andrews. Currently has his paws all over this game. That'll be his 5th block.
They've had so few break opportunities, Japan, but when they get them, they're very quick to throw them away. I was just looking at them there, hoping they'd be a little more patient with the disc, but going for the juggler straight away, and it hasn't really paid off for them.
So Tulip calling for a new disc. Andrews maybe landing on that one a little bit. Phillips immediately evacuating to the deep space. McGuckin to Tulip. Nice easy moves. Gan. Matsuno just hanging out in that lane, making the upfield less attractive. Nice around break, big spicy bid. The 2 lads falling out of the field, but just towing it in bounds for McGuckin. Although the out call is being made by Team Japan.
Hard to know when he gathered that one up. He was under a lot of pressure and did thunder over the sideline, but whether he gained possession of the disc or not beforehand. Sam McGuckin there, the man on the sideline, has played with multiple teams from Australia, Woolly Mammoths, Ellipsis, Sunder, a lot of the top open teams coming out of Australia.
With Muraoka, one of the big targets for Team Japan, matching up against him. I like that battle between those two. Phillips coming under but being looked off, favouring the swing to the side. Big arcing potential opportunity. Good switching off on the defence there to make Australia be pushed back by several yards. But nice find now. Big, expansive shot, has the separation. High attempt from the defender, but it's going to be a goal to open us up here this second half. Alex Prentice with the score.
Fantastic catch from Prentice. Looked like there was a lot of defensive pressure there, but boxed out the defender well and was able to gather it with ease in the end. Phillips unleashing the cannons again. She has no fear in this game, and it's been a trend, I think, of the tournament, is you really have to go out into these games with no fear. Trust yourself.
I like the placement of that disc, actually. Really great stuff. Akifumi Muraoka not able to make the play on it, just sinking on that soft side where the defender wasn't.
We've seen a couple of times now the Japanese D-line get a break opportunity and really squander it. I haven't been impressed with their D-line offense. And we've seen Matsuno picking up a lot and maybe just a little bit trigger happy. Would maybe like to see it go the other way around. Maybe somebody throw it to him or work a bit more small ball. I think as the game goes on, we'd like to maybe see the likes of Kaede Ashida cross over for a point. Very difficult to do in this heat and weather, and it's very tiring, but that's a good way to try and get you a break if it ends up going to Universe point potentially.
Yeah, a bit of short cutting perhaps from the Japanese side. Unfortunately, you can't really do that against the likes of the Aussie Crocs. So, sitting pretty, 8-6 leading the charge, but Japan now need to respond in kind. Zone look from Team Australia. Again, trying to cause a bit of confusion. But nice patience. Yoshida makes the hammer, pops it straight back. Still available, just stood there. Asada around. Bit of give-go action. Winding up that momentum, but no deep shots available as we're now melted to person coverage from the Australians. Are we going to see them transition again and get more flow? Yes, we are. Yoshida, near side, puts up a nice flat one, but coming through like a thief in the night. Sam McGuckin gets the disc for Aussies. Oh, casual push pass and a scuba. The D-line of Australia giving us all the fancy throws from the bottom of the toolkit. Andrews, you've got to think, probably being given those unders. Resets around, squeezing it near side. Just calm flow from the Aussies in stark contrast to the D opportunities that have been given to Japan. Shooting it down, everyone clustered very close to the disc. There are some players available near side. Can they use the width? They will, but it's going to be an overshot. And the disc given back to the athletes in blue. Nice working and moving. Oh, that's an expansive shot for days. Yoshida with the goal off the huge hammer.
Japan led off the hook there, but transitioned really well off that turn from Australia. Australia were left in 6s and 7s, did not transition well at all, and a very easy goal in the end for Japan.
Love that release from Taku Hona.
It is just an acres in space, and that's something the Japanese team do well. It's transition very quickly, both on offense and defense.
And Kaito Yoshida, a little bit of fun facts of love between these two sides. Mish Phillips, as we said earlier, who has is two lovely children, also has a collection of farm animals at her home, which are named after famous Ultimate players who she happens to have met over the years. And Yoshida is indeed featured on the naming of the farm animals.
Do you know what farm animal she is?
I believe it's a sheep or a goat.
I can see it.
It just goes to show how much these sides are brought together by this sport. You know, often it's difficult to have the spirit of the game and the respect for the opposition, but the self-refereed dynamic really does help foster those connections.
See a lot of the Australians there wearing gloves. Often you see people wearing gloves in bad weather, but I think it's just so clammy out there in Alabama that a lot of the Aussies sporting gloves.
And looks to be a pick on the field. Tulip sauntering back. We are starting to see some of the all-star legends from Team Japan coming out on defense. So maybe that's the shortening of the lines that you were saying might be a good idea there, Liam.
Yeah, I was really hoping for a Kat Phillips-Kaito Yoshida matchup at some stage in this game. We haven't seen it yet.
Big fake from Alex Gann. Team Japan's defense starting to really cause some issues here. A bit too much of a bumping in the centre of the field between Liv Carr and her matchup. Australians being pushed way, way back. Egan Griffiths, oh no, so Prentice, sorry, trying to make some more space in the deep. She has the height. She doesn't like the look of it. The downfield cutters trying so hard. Oh, huge effort to try and get the in block. Ripper across. Sneaky inside to Gann, who's going to open up the arm. It might be a bridge too far. It is indeed. Cannot be run down by Egan Griffiths. who's threatening that deep shot quite often in that point.
A full 64 meters to go for this Japanese D-line. You see the replay of this shot and just maybe a little poor execution there. Long point, trying to force it in. The receiver was open, but unlike Gan, not to be able to execute that one.
Yeah, wide open. But a missed opportunity. And the Japanese,
You think it was in?
with their,
you can take it halfway.
just having a little discussion as to where the disc sailed out of bounds. Bringing us back in, of course, the iconic Masahiro Matsuno. 38 years young.
The bottom here is first to hit. And it hits. Yeah? Yeah. Right there.
Usually I dislike reenactments in Ultimate, but sometimes if there's language barriers, a reenactment helps.
There's a rule that says it comes in halfway if you dispute it.
Great to have game advisor Ruben Berg there to clarify the rules. Might be the most knowledgeable man on the planet when it comes to rules.
And a wonderful human as well. Always willing to help educate where required. It's a nice flowing offense from Japan. This is looking much better than their break opportunity before. Lays it, but doesn't come up with the goods. Huge effort, but not to be for Miwa Tajima.
Just an inch too far from Japan. Almost their first break of the game. They really needed that one. The clock is ticking away against them. They need 2 breaks if they want to win this game. There was a big opportunity to get one there.
So now the battle will recommence again. The full distance of the central zone to advance. Fakes off the first under. Has a think about the second. Tempting a post block from Imanishi.
Kat Phillips maybe playing the wrong sport there. Was going to run away with the disc. I think she was trying to give a go and then didn't get it off and started running with the disc, which is frowned upon.
Prentice trying to get hard free in the underspace. Nice high reaching grab from Chula. Dogged patience and determination from Australia. Phillips bring that in high with 2 hands. Oh, stumbling around, but manages to get up and get it. Chula scoobering over the top. Oh, that is a big collision in the centre of the field. I think that's going to be immediately uncontested. And the disc will go to Alex Gan.
Matsuno trying to give him a leapfrog there and did not work out.
That's the kind of collisions we do not want to see. Ultimate is a non-contact sport, but quickly resolved, and both players still injury-free and on the field, which is what we want to see when those do occur. Guckin popping back. Gan into Prentice. But the Australians knocking on the door of their next hold. Not a clean one. We're seeing way more turnovers in this second half as these two teams get the measure of each other.
She already
Oh, you say swimming during.
No, I think it was good, yeah, but I don't think it affected that throw.
Still catch.
Still, キャッチしてたからそこから。
She's saying that it didn't affect the catch, and that she should just catch up. That's what Kat is saying.
I'm happy for it to go back.
Okay, seems like it's unclear. So.
So the disc, the pass will stand after the players resolved the infraction downfield. Tulip swinging wide. Nice poach off on the defence to prevent the second expansion. This is really wily stuff from the Japanese defence.
As you see another pick downfield. Australia forced to do these big swings the whole time. And not getting many yards, hard to execute, and gives actually Japanese time to look around and adjust downfield.
You can hear the yell of poach, poach, poach as Kyle Lowe comes under. Egan Griffiths, high release. Oh, what pressure the Japanese are trying to put the Aussies under right now. A hair's breadth away from blocks. But the Aussies looking strong, expanding across the field. The high arcing flick, complete blown separation for Chulett. And he reels in another goal to add to his stats tally.
It was hard work for the Aussies, but they got it in there eventually. Opportunity goes a begging for the Japanese. You can see Chulett taking some time to fill his lungs at auction. That was hard work. Interesting, we didn't have Rob Andrews on the O-line there. We saw Kyle O coming across, maybe just trying to take a little break. We wonder why Andrews has been very successful, and McGuckin for this O-line, but bringing on a D-line player there. We'll see maybe if Andrews or McGuckin comes and plays some D-line now instead.
Well, we are seeing both teams sort of switching up their rosters. We saw Matsuno coming on for a defensive point for Team Japan. But with such short rosters, you really do have the ability to switch people around, change up the rhythm. As we see a lovely bit of action with Georgia Egan Griffiths. It's because I'm misnaming with another very famous Frisbee player called Griffiths. But fantastic to see her. She's been all over the field. 2 assists to her name. And Karamart getting us back underway. 9-7 the score. The Aussies leading. Game here to 13, but 18 and a half minutes remaining on the game clock. So we may see this one not quite go the full distance. However, Asada faking off the scuba. Great defense from Australia. High stall count going over the top. The stall out defender says reached the of 10. Will be Sally Yu there on the mark. But what smothering cover that was.
Okay. So it sounds like it's contested. Contested. Coming in on stalling 8.
Cheeky hand slap there between the defenders. They know they've done a good job.
Stall count being contested, as is tradition in the sport. It seemed like he had it for quite a while. Don't know if there was a marking infraction in there or what happened, but it will come in at stall 8. This could be a tactical foul call here. I'm not sure if Shepherd running past hit him, but if he did, he might get a reset on that stall.
Indeed, so the two players discussing now. Certainly very tight cover from the Aussies.
Yeah. But he's saying that he was there. You moved to him.
Always difficult when you've got two players converging in the same space.
There's been a foul that's contested, stalling 6.
So he's bought himself another 2 seconds there anyway. With a contested foul, the maximum can be a 6.
Does have the release available directly behind and takes it. But the Aussies really pushing in. And now escaping Callaghan country. Callaghan, of course, being when the offence throws a disc, the defence catch it in the defending end zone, and it's a score. Has the space around the side, but chooses the sneaky inside. Lovely threading of the eye of the needle here for Team Japan. Rauka.
Australia now transitioning to a match defense. Something they've done very well in this game is in that end zone, playing a very tight zone, but adjusting as it goes downfield.
We are seeing much better movement from Japan as the disc gets clattered out of their hands by the mark of Rob Andrews. You called it, Liam. He's here on the D-line.
Yeah, interesting to see them crossing over, looking to try and get more breaks, but given they have the lead already, I thought they were just going to try and hold this one out.
Well, with only one game a day, you can afford to play your stars, and that is an absolute beauty of a forehand into the palms of Keri Yoshida over the top of the stack.
Pure magic from Japan there, just floats one into the path of Yoshida. A few calls in that point, starting to get a little more chippy this game. But everything been discussed very well. Who knows what celebration they're doing here.
I think it might be some sort of disc-related tea ceremony type affair, is what I'd have to say.
How many pints of sake can you fit into this, Kana?
Oh, that's definitely a fact that I don't need to have the answer to, but I kind of want to all the same. How many pints can you fit in a Frisbee?
I think it's 3 imperial pints.
But yeah, I think trying to consume 3 pints of sake might have some untoward results for your physical and mental health. It's not to be recommended, but certainly Team Japan coming out and showing us some of their upper echelon abilities. But the Aussies still leading the charge. They just got that first break of serve, coming out with their D-line and punching it in flawlessly to get us underway, as we see Tulip looking down at the Frisbee. But commanding thus far. Low grab, but reeled in. Nice sashaying in the handler space. Taking it relatively easy. Phillips punctures through. McGuckin. Oh, a lot of touching there on the jostling into the handler space.
So Juliet will roll and turn there, a bit of contact, debating who initiated it.
Well, we've seen some very clean movement.
I think we're both moving to the same space, which makes it feel like a push. Okay, I slightly disagree. I think we're both moving, so not secondary.
Yeah.
He thinks stuff. Okay.
Yep.
I think not.
Okay. So it sounds like it's contested.
Okay.
Coming in on 3. Where are you guys? You right? You set where you are?
So disc going back to McGuckin. So you see more collisions upfield. Clearly the Japanese playing much tighter match defence at this point. So Chula, with all of his teammates racing behind him, taking negative yards initially, but bringing us back. Again, hungry and waiting in the around space. Nice bladey over the top of the shoulder of the mark. The male handlers finding each other nicely. As the cut on the far side doesn't like it. Griffiths to Phillips. Oh, and a nice punch in. That's a score for Sam McGuckin to add to his 1 block tally.
Australia sailing the ship into port there. Nice controlled offense. The Japanese putting a lot of pressure, but happy to use their swings, use their resets.
And that's a clean hold for the Aussies and much faster in terms of execution of the point than we have seen in the mid stages of the second half. This game is one of the first we're seeing go the full time distance. We are probably not going to see it go all the way to 13 unless, of course, we start seeing some rapid fire out of the Aussies.
Kat Phillips has been using that big backhand very well throughout this game. You can see her coming, getting those swings, and just sending one deep and early. Definitely favors that backhand hook. And she's very good at getting it off quick and early onto the break side, and that's what she's been really attacking.
So Rob Andrews with the pole for Australia. The most highly decorated individual in this match so far, bar Phillips, with 3 goals, 1 assist and a whopping 5 blocks. So Japan going against the Aussie zone. So with a formation of 5 in the centre of the field, but getting it behind the wall and now able to move it nicely. Aussies looking to refocus themselves. Lovely stuff from Kashino with that around. Oh, and is available. Nearly tempts Andrews into the block. Japanese not going over the top. Even though the Aussies still in this zone set. Now have to be a high stall release to somewhere, to someone. Just about squeaking it in. And just for the goal as she steps up. Tomoko Inamura with the assist. And that was a bizarre score, Liam.
Ice in the veins of Kaede Yoshida. There must have been a marking infraction in there somewhere. It seemed like the stall was getting very, very high and working within a very small space. But Taku Hona is having a much better game today than he did yesterday, starting to find his groove. I think pushing downfield a little bit more is helping him.
Yeah, the stats for Team Japan, a little bit less spread across the field. But the likes of Yoshida, Hona, Muraoka, Asada and Inamura making big plays this game. This is a lot better than we saw them against the Colombians yesterday. This being Pool B action for you here in the flying disc discipline at this event. 2 pools of 4 with the top 2 finishers advancing to the championship bracket, those semi-final berths. And coming into this tournament, who would you have favoured, Liam, between these 2 sides?
Very difficult to say. I think traditionally Australia have been better at mixed, but if you go back to 2019, Japan got 2 medals over the Aussies in the open and women's division. So it's all about how they transition to mixed, and they're starting to get a little bit better, Japan, and I think just staying touch tight in this game is what they'd want.
And they have been. It has been trading all day apart from that break in the first point. The Aussies making quick work of this offence now. They heard us in the booth talking about how there are but a few minutes left of official game time. Fakes and dishes. And the stack looking very far away. Can there be a plate from the Japanese defence? Lovely shaping on that fading around swing for Tulip. Good attack from Gan, who's going to shoot it over the top perhaps, but not able to connect with his teammate. A rare error from the Australians. Can the Japanese make use of this? They've had opportunities and they've squandered all of them thus far for the break. Good giving and going. Looking fairly quiet in the downfield. Eventually, the target is chosen, but ripped out of the sky by Australia. Who else but Sam McGuckin? And a massive ripper from Tulip to completely blown coverage. Easily reeled in by Liv Carr.
Fantastic goal by Liv Carr, and you saw it again. Japan worked so hard to get the break opportunity and throw it away. You saw number 4, Taku Hona, crossing over the D-line there and just throwing it to the big lads on the Australian team yet again. They had a few passes of patience, but that D-line offense not clicking for the Japanese. They've had a few chances, but just can't get anywhere near the Aussie end zone. It's a fantastic defensive play here. And Manishi getting her first block of the game, but It's no good getting the blocks if you can't convert them, Hannah.
Absolutely, and the Japanese just trying to throw themselves out of jail. Hot pressure from the Aussies. This has definitely been a game dictated by defence. Both sides are really playing some smothering coverage. We love to see it, the smarts of it, the sagging in the lanes, the tightening up, and the zone. I've been surprised how effective the Australian zone's been.
Yeah, we'll see if they bring it out again now. Been very good at shutting down the pull plays from Japan. We've had a few power outages here in Alabama, but Karoma definitely not lacking in power.
And the Japanese now getting underway as they are in the last gasp of this game. Match coverage from Australia. Asada finds Tajima. Easy and quick resetting, moving the disc nicely. It's looking a touch stronger. Yoshida being marked by the giant stature of Georgia Egan-Griffiths. A hard mark to throw around. Asada with the huge overhead time and space for the reception. Oh, pings it through. Is that going to be good? Yes, it is. It's delightful. And the goal for Japan. Yuko Kashino reels it in, going to the ground.
That is some textbook Japanese offense there. That bladey flick hook, putting it only where the receiver can get it. That's better from Japan. 11-10 now the score, just 1 point away from the Aussies. But this Australian line just looks so good.
I love this section of play. Receives the hammer over the top, and from the awkward angle of the overarching field, that looked a little bit spicy, but now you see it on that replay. What a delightful throw.
That crossfield arcing blade flick, so hard for defend. Not much separation between the Japanese player and Karoma, who's playing defense, but just putting it in a place she probably wasn't expecting it to go, and probably a place she couldn't get to.
So this is the moment where the Japanese D-line need to go and get the block and put it in to put themselves back in this match.
And we do see Kaede Yoshida. Just saw a flash of the #1 jersey coming across.
And it is a loose defense trying to clog up those lanes and deny the large-statured athletes of Australia from getting the better of them.
I would love a player cam on Kat Phillips and Yoshida right now. The matchup I've been waiting for all game long.
Nice reaching bring in from Tulip. The pressure starting to mount. Huge bomb. It's a big flick. Is it going to be the defender has position? Oh, just about retains it. What a hero play, but she gets ground stripped. Oh, amazing spirit, Kat Phillips.
She's going to get away with that one, I think.
I think there's going to be a discussion on the call. Great defensive positioning.
Yeah, Yoshida does well to get in front, but goes up just a fraction too early. Maybe gets a tip on it. Looks like Phillips had this under control, but then does lose it.
Well, certainly a brilliant matchup between those two.
Because we had a contact. I think I couldn't catch it here. When we went up, I dropped it. And I think the contact made me drop it. And then this one I dropped, but I think I could have caught it here.
Yeah, there was contact here. Yeah, but I think still I'm not sure if you could catch the disc.
I touched it. So But I touched too. I touched the disc too.
And I think I blocked, but
So we're at 45 seconds.
I would be happy for it to go back.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to keep it contest. I do not want to send that back.
I was looking forward to that matchup all game long. And this disc will be sent back. To me, that looked like a pretty clean play from Yoshida.
It's a difficult one. Certainly, Yoshida forcing Phillips into going up early, which is probably not an experience that Phillips has to deal with on the regs. Usually leaving her matchups in the dust, but a fair fight, and we might get an action replay as Tulit with the disc back in his hands. Nice inside from Gan. Australians making some nice gainers upfield now, not being quite so smothered in the handler space as they just face mark high release over the top.
As we see, Arakawa has crossed over now as well onto this D-line. And essentially Phillips has gone hiding.
Player available in the deep space, but it's going to be run down just about. What a sensational grab. I thought that was a defensive for days. Samuel McGuckin.
Yeah, Sam McGuckin able to use his speed and height there. But maybe if Japan left that a little too late to start crossing players over. Definitely put Australia under a lot of pressure there.
I thought when that disc was released that it was going to fade in a bad, bad way. But what a rundown. Great effort from Kashino to try and prevent that one, but big bid.
Yeah, crossing over a lot of offensive players there. And actually, Australia doing the opposite, bringing Kylo back onto the O-line. Kind of a trust throw to Sam McGuckin, but he's been a goal machine all tournament long.
And I love the body control, the way he swept round the back of Kashino to avoid contact, but still make that grab for the goal. And, well, commentators curse, Liam. We're going to have this one go to the full 13 points available. And the Japanese just need to punch this one in and see if they can snag that all-important break back. They did start out on offense. If this one had just traded out, it would be theirs for the taking.
Surprised they didn't call a timeout after that point, having crossed over a lot of players.
Just going to work. Asada thinks about that big one. Some nice gainers, nearly the good peel off from Ma. Honna been having such a good game today. Nice giving and going up the far side. Can see how much the Australians want to finish us off. Blading over the top, what a snag! Great stuff from Muraoka. Muraoka, oh, just into the middle of the stack. Yoshida there.
If in doubt, look for Yoshida. I think there's a stall 9. Where's Yoshida and throw it near her?
I mean, I don't begrudge him that in any way, shape or form. So Yoshida on the goal line. Japan with a must score. Oh, and a lovely dish. Bit of fancy footwork finds Arakawa. And that is the much needed hole. We are on Universe, Japan. We'll come out on D. Oh no, you're shaking your head at me, Liam. Am I getting confused?
I believe the score is 12-11.
Oh, I'm too excited.
Not Universe yet. Hopefully you'll get to say that in a minute or two.
That's where we go. The scoreboard betrayed me. It was too fast, too fast.
I'm going to guess that Japan are taking a timeout now to try and rest some players, get that almost Universe point line out there. But this is make or break for them in this tournament, really. Already lost one game. Can't really afford to lose 2 in this format.
There was a point earlier in the very early stages of this game where one of the handlers faked off a throw and then the teammate from Japan, I forget exactly who it was, then did exactly the cut that had just been sort of faked for. So that's what I'm saying. I would like a universe finish if we can, and certainly this would be the best moment for Japan to finally punch in a defence opportunity. But it's going to be all stars coming out for Australia in the gold and green, cementing their position in Pool B and their second win. Tulip. Horizontal stack, the name of the game for Australia. Phillips. Tulip's really been going to work in the handler space. Lots of agility practice. But a bit of lack of mental focus. Egan Griffiths giving the disc to Japan. And this is the opportunity they need.
Yeah, never look a gift horse in the mouth. A big opportunity for Japan. Will they throw it away first pass, which they've done a lot of times?
Well, the veteran Matsuno. We have one. We have nearly two. Feisty defence there. Uncontested by the looks of it. Alex Gann getting a bit of too much a hand in the cookie jar, to steal your phrase, but that's going to be watched back through gritted teeth for Egan Griffith if this doesn't go the way of Australia.
And a few stoppages here in this possession. I think that might actually help Japan. They need to calm down a little bit on this D-line offense. They've had 4 opportunities in this game and have not been able to convert any of them, but now is the time.
Lovely around break for the high grab for Inamura. Oh, what a hero maker opportunity, but just too much ground contact. Kanari Imanishi with the missed opportunity off of a bit of a spicy throw.
Looks like an injury is called. I'm going to make bets who's coming on here for Japan. Don't believe Kei Ishida started at this point, so this could be a good opportunity to get her on. Or is that Kana Koguchi stepping in, perhaps?
Yeah, Noguchi will replace her, and we're going to have a changeover for the Aussies as well. Cara Mark coming in. Prentice. Oh, gets a lot of contact with the mark of Yuko Kashino. Oh, lovely find on the far side. The big man Andrews centres to Prentice. Chula available in the centre of the field, squeaking towards that far side. Nice releases. Close to finishing this one off. Can they do the business? Prentice. Tamar. Love that quick release. Oh, it's a huge bladey flick and it's a goal! Finishing us off for Australia. Sam McGuckin closing out their match. And what a throw. Expansive stuff.
Who else but Sam McGuckin? Trust your big receivers. Fantastic play from Australia to hold there to win 13-11. Really stellar offense all game long for this O-line. They were never broken. Broken hearts here for the Japanese, though. That likely to send them packing.
And another look at that. Almost knife into the far corner. Lovely expansive scenes from Alex Gann. And the big man, Sam McGuckin. The lads connect to put themselves in prime position in this Pool B. Brutal format here at the World Games. Just the 2 top finishers advancing into the championship bracket. But the Japanese were breathing down their necks the whole 80-some minutes.
Yeah, I was just converting on those D-line opportunities, the nail in the coffin for the Japanese side. They played some really great ultimate. But yeah, in a tough position now, going 0-2. You felt there was opportunities to maybe cross over people more onto that D-line, the likes of Yoshida, Arakawa. They did it once and almost got the break, had a Great matchup between Yoshida and Phillips, two stars of flying disc.
And all that needed was just the conversion on the defensive line. But beautiful scenes out here on the fields in Birmingham. And that sake ceremony with the Japanese score celebration. Absolutely beautiful athleticism and capabilities across the field, and spirit as well. Commiserations to the Japanese. Played so well, such great scenes, but congratulations to Australia advancing. They face the top seed in the pool in their final match of pool play. That will be against Colombia, one to watch for sure. But we're bringing you action here live all day in Birmingham, Alabama. I've been Hannah Pendlebury. For Liam Grant, it's been a pleasure to compare you through this game. Australia surmounting Japan 13-11.
Australia by the skin of its crocodile teeth, hanging on to defeat Japan 13-11. Welcome back to our game day set here in Birmingham, along with Daryl Stanley and Megan Tormey. I am Evan Lepler. To paraphrase the great Liam Grant, Australia, no breaks in the game. Japanese, broken hearts. 6 chances to break, couldn't get the break. They had chances in the second half, Daryl, but Australia did enough to survive, and they're 2-0 on their way to the semifinals.
Absolutely. Natsuno magic did not happen, but we got a new hero for Japan.
Muraoka magic.
Muraoka, wow, was he impressive downfield. Maybe cross him over some of those D-line points, and that might help get those break chances.
They had the opportunities, about as many as you get in a hotly contested World Games game, and yet were not able to capitalize. And that is the story of this game, really, is just their inability to capitalize on those very few opportunities that they had.
To be fair, there's only a 1 break difference. You know, the Japanese O-line did a really good job of not getting broken as well by Australia. So I feel like we're being pretty harsh considering it's 1 break difference.
I mean, when the games are this close, that's what you have to do. You dissect these margins. Very few opportunities, and you have to be critical because those are the changes necessary to notch a win in the World Games.
There's a lot to unpack from that second half that we just saw, in which the two teams played virtually even. Back and forth we went. The only break of the game was the very first point, with Georgia Egan-Griffiths hitting Rob Andrews on Japan's opening O point to take a 1-0 lead. In the second half, great plays from Cat Phillips, and I thought Sam McGuckin, as he was yesterday in their opener against France, just comes up big, a great instinct and nose for the disc.
Yeah, I mean, that is a receiver, that is a defender 1. He is making those plays and getting all the blocks. It's unbelievable how many times he just finishes his plays here.
Yeah, it's really impressive to watch him downfield, both offensively and defensively, keep an eye on what is transpiring with the disc up the field. It enables him to make those plays defensively and then obviously be just a deep threat for Australia time and time again.
Here's one of the critical plays of the game, and Cat Phillips will join us in just a few minutes here at our game day set. Phillips lost it when she landed, called a foul, a very respectful conversation between her and Kaede Yoshida. They sent it back, and the deep shot ended up working out to McGuckin out of the hands of Kyle O. And then last point of the game, again, it was McGuckin that had all the answers.
Yeah, I really like what you brought. Here's the stats that we were just talking about. 1 turnover difference. 1 break chance difference that Australia gets, that Japan doesn't. And it's on the first point of the game. I could not be more heartbroken for the Japanese considering how well they played and how much they stepped up compared to yesterday. Maybe Colombia's just that good.
Well, we'll see Colombia against France later today. Maybe the French are just that good. Who knows? Tonton Roger, a dangerous handler, and Colombia will have to deal with him. More break chances for Japan, but unfortunately they could not cash in, and it's the Aussie Crocs who are 2-0 here at the World Games. We'll see Colombia and France in the fourth and final game of the day. Coming up next, Canada and Great Britain. That's at the bottom of the hour here in Birmingham, and then the showdown between two 1-0s, USA and Germany, later today. Let's take a quick time out. We'll rearrange our set, and Cat Phillips, one of the stars for Australia for so many years, will join us here to talk about that remarkable win over Japan. The Aussies take it 13-11. Cat Phillips coming up next. Only takes us 30 seconds to get set. Kat, thanks so much for stopping by. What a game. I mean, what a couple of games your team has had. Did you expect this much drama and this type of intensity down to the wire here in Birmingham?
I think I did. I've played at the level before, and I know that all of the teams that come here to win. And I know that you don't get away with any games that aren't like that. But for a lot of people on the team who haven't played at the World Games before, I think they're finding it a lot of adrenaline and a great environment to be part of.
You've had two back-to-back games that have been down to the wire, and that must be very exhausting to endure. Yeah. What are you doing on the sidelines? What are you saying to one another to make sure everyone continues to stay very engaged in the game?
Yeah, I think we know coming here with only 14 people in the team that you need to be giving to the team the whole time. We're a really tight-knit group. We've had a week of pre-tour before we got here, spending time together, connecting, and we're all about that on the field, that, we need to keep giving energy to the team and keep lifting everyone up.
So your experience, I think, really showed through in your handling of that really critical discussion. Can you walk us through, I don't think I heard maybe the beginning of the discussion, can you walk us through what your thoughts were as you were working through that call?
Yeah, I think there were two parts to the play for me. The initial effort where we both went up, and I felt like I got fouled on that attempt. Obviously, then I dropped it on the second attempt, but I thought I would have probably come down with it if there hadn't been contact on the initial attempt. And I think Katie, we've played together and against each other before. We have a great relationship and had a good conversation about it.
And that really was amazing. First of all, your composure in the moment, because you didn't scream foul immediately. You were processing the play as we see it here, and it looked like she may have got you on the arm on that swinging through. You landed. Everyone on the sideline thought you made the catch, but you were very honest and forthright. You didn't catch it. I mean, what's going through your mind in that moment, and how does that pre-existing relationship help bridge the gap between these two countries in this fierce battle?
Yeah, we have a great relationship with their team, and we respect them a lot. They're a great team to play against and a great group of people, and I think you could see there were a lot of calls that were made in that game, and the language barrier obviously meant they were drawn out, but they were all done very respectfully. We all, every player here is trying to uphold the spirit of the game, and it's something that's really important to all of the teams, particularly this time around. Woofdorf will be awarding a spirit of the game winner to the winning team, and I think that's something that every team would be trying to uphold and trying to live by.
So you're 2-0. You got Colombia tomorrow. I mean, what's the feeling just around the team? What do you guys talk about in the huddle after that win? It feels like the tournament has just started, but you, barring something crazy, are into the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, for our team coming from Australia, we haven't played at an international level for nearly three years now. The last time we played was in 2019. And we knew that coming here we'd get better every game. Every hit out that we get against a world-class team we're going to learn and grow from. And I think we can see that happening game after game after game that we've had here. We couldn't be happier to be playing Colombia tomorrow. We've all played a lot of really tight games against them. They're a really fun and athletic team to play. I think, we'll have a moment to be happy about being in the semi, and then we'll work out how we're going to play against them tomorrow and get ready for that.
Are you concerned about showing too much, too little? I know it might be premature, but I'm just curious about knowing that if you do find that you're playing that game and you're already qualified, do you think you guys will want to hold some things back?
No, we're going out there to win every game. again, at the level that all the teams are playing at here, I think you're winning or you're losing by the effort, by the work rate that you can put in, by the grit that you've got to play out a whole game. I don't think it'll be a tactical thing here or there that will determine the outcome. We'll be pretty keen to go out and have a red-hot crack tomorrow.
Your experience on this stage we've discussed. Can you share with the viewers who maybe don't know your story how you began playing Ultimate in Australia and what other athletic endeavors you do in your spare time aside from Ultimate back home?
Yeah, I play in the Australian Football League, a professional women's Australian football competition. So it's kind of a combination of gridiron, or kind of a combination of everything. You play with a rugby ball, you can tackle, full contact, a lot of running, 20 people on the field, a heap going on everywhere. I've been doing that for 5 years, so I do that kind of in the winter when we're not playing Ultimate.
How's your body withstand the full contact that you don't necessarily get in Ultimate?
Yeah, I find it a bit weird when I go between the two of them. I often have to dial back my contact when I come back here. But I think the role that I play in footy, I play on the wing where you do a lot of running and you kind of avoid a lot of that contact. A lot of the other players are a fair bit bigger than me, or a fair bit stronger than me.
Doing the scrums.
But I love it. I love being able to do both, and I love that playing in footy, I get to have that elite environment all year round, going between the two.
How has the footy made you a better Ultimate player?
I think I've got a lot bigger and stronger, and having that high performance environment around me, I've learned a lot about how to be an elite athlete, and all of the 1%ers that you can do to keep your body fit and strong for the whole year. I've got access to a whole lot of people around the football club who can support with my development and anything that I need. And then even, reading the game and learning, the patterns on the field and all of that, you can learn different things and bring it between the two of them.
I know you said you have only a moment to enjoy this win before you have to start thinking about the upcoming competition, but what have you seen from Colombia that you're really excited to match up against, and what are you going to bring to the table to defeat this very worthy adversary?
Yeah, I think, we all know that their women are really great. We've played against them a lot. The Australian and Colombian women have had a number of very hard-fought battles over the years that I've been a part of. So I think I'm looking forward to that again. I love the way that they play. I love that they play through every player on the team. They play a very dynamic brand of Ultimate, and they're a really fun team. They bring a great vibe, and it really lifts the atmosphere.
Yeah, the tempo difference is really fascinating, isn't it? You attack very vertically. They do a lot of small tiki-taka almost, if we're going to borrow terms from other footy.
I don't know that one.
Oh, okay.
Is that American football?
No, that's
okay.
Football.
I don't know what it is either, Kat. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, small passing, almost like defensively, such that, if we have the Frisbee, you can't score, right? And they just, that tempo that they play at is really intense. What kind of things are you thinking you're going to do to slow down some of the tempo of their female matching players especially, but even their men play at that tempo?
I think we're really confident in the athletic ability that we've got. We think that we can go one-on-one with any player, and I'm sure we'll do a bunch of that tomorrow, playing really tight person-to-person defence. And then you will have seen today we threw a couple of different things on D, and we'll probably do that again. We like to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, I liked how you started that game off. There was zone for a transition for a point or two. I think you guys noticed Japan wasn't moving as fluidly with that, and it looked like you later on made some adjustments to hold that for longer. Was that intentional? Did I see that right?
Yeah, for sure. We've got a couple of tools that we've got, and we like to try them out. Again, not having played against any of the teams that are here for a very long time, you come into the tournament not really knowing what will work or what won't work. And for the beginning of every game, we're putting out a few different things on D and working out what they like, what they don't like, and then going from there.
It's good adjustments.
Yeah, speaking of adjustments, I think that's one thing that Daryl and I have been really impressed with, both in yesterday's game and today, is how nimble your coaching staff is and how nimble the team is in responding. So talk a little bit about the communication between the coaches and the players that enable you to make those micro adjustments that just keep the pressure continuous.
Yeah, I think we've done a lot of work. I think Tom might have talked to you the other day about Anna Rogacki and her mental strength program, and the work that we've done to really be able to dial into every moment and respond really quickly to whatever we need to. And that's something that we keep coming back to. When we're in a high pressure moment, we can get input from Anna and the team and really dial into delivering that immediately. And then the other part of it, a fair few of us have played under Anna before, Anna and Nikki. Back in 2010 at the Under-23 World Championships, and then in 2013 Anna coached the Crocs. So I think we've got a good dynamic there.
Well, Kat, congratulations on this win today. After winning by 1 yesterday, you beat Japan by 2. Last question. You got a full day ahead of you, and then a large part of the day tomorrow. You don't play till 4 o'clock local time in the afternoon tomorrow. What do you do the rest of the day? How do you kill the time before you get Colombia?
I'll be putting my feet up and probably put a couple of games on the TV and have a lie down in the afternoon. I think even with by the time we get back to the hotel, it'll be the middle of the day. We'll all be pretty keen to put the feet up, eat a lot, get to bed early.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. I think I speak for all of us when we say we cannot wait for the Colombia game tomorrow. It's going to be a show. Congratulations.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Kat Phillips joining us here on our set. Coming up the rest of the day, we're just about 15 minutes away from Canada and Great Britain, a battle of desperation, 2 teams that are 0-1, and then later today the 1-0 teams in Pool A, USA and Germany, will square off. We'll get you set for Canada and GB and all the other action coming up later today. And we take a quick time out now. Back in a moment here to Birmingham.